Welcome to the Untaught Podcast. Today we're diving into one of the most fascinating and unsettling aspects of being a human, getting triggered. The fact is that at times we're not in full control of ourselves. It's as if our thoughts, emotions, and even our actions are not us, but the expression of some foreign agent, some other person's personality. Have you ever felt that? Did you wonder what it is? I did. Take a second to think about it. Have you ever snapped at someone and then thought, where did that come from? Or maybe you found yourself repeating the same relationship patterns over and over and over again, despite painful failure after miserable, soul-crushing failure. Enough. Let's go deeper and allow me a moment to share a story. You may have heard of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. What if I told you that we all have a bit of Jekyll and Hyde inside of us? And no, I'm not saying we're all villains lurking in the night. You're not bad. We're good. I'm talking about how when an unhealed part of our conscious mind takes over, when we feel different, act out of character with our typical calm, centered, happy way of living. That altered state starts with a trigger. So, grab your coffee or maybe something stronger, whatever you like, and let's explore the shadowy corners of our mind. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde tells us the story of a respectable scientist who creates a potion. This potion separates his good self from his dark, desirous self. That's Dr. Henry Jekyll. In an effort to be two people, he drinks the potion down his throat into the hollow of his belly and transforms into Mr. Hyde, a cruel creature devoid of guilt and hangry, very, very hangry. You can guess what happens. After all, fiction mirrors life. Over time, monstrous Hyde dominates the kinder, gentler Jekyll, who loses control. His life, love, and light are swallowed up in a desperate darkness. But here's where it gets really interesting. Stevenson's story isn't just about split personalities. It hints at how our unconscious mind operates. The good Dr. Jekyll represents our conscious self, the part of us that wants to do the right thing, is good, kind, and loving. And Dr. Jekyll has goals, he has plans. This is his respectable public image, perhaps the image he has of himself. Mr. Hyde represents the drive towards the amoral, what is not allowed, yet we crave. And here's the kicker. Hyde doesn't ask for permission. He takes over when he feels like it, especially when Jekyll is tired, stressed, or feeling vulnerable. Relatable, right? And those who ask, is this just some old story, or does this actually apply to real life? It does apply to real life. A Jekyll and Hyde mechanism exists in us humans. We see it manifest from time to time, especially when we're under pressure or in emotionally charged situations. But what does this mean, Stephen? What do we do about it? Glad you asked. Modern psychology, including Freudian psychoanalysis, confirms much of our behavior is driven by unconscious processes. How we react and misinterpret others, even how we sabotage our own goals, like WTF. That's Hyde acting up. Our unconscious mind holds drives, unprocessed emotions, and core beliefs, some faulty, most of which were formed in childhood. And here's the wild part. The unconscious doesn't use the same logic as your conscious mind. It operates on emotions, feelings, and associations. We'll get to that more later. We want to get to know this part of ourselves so we can outgrow it. Here's the deal. The more awareness we bring to them, the more we outgrow maladaptive, unconscious behavior, bringing the unconscious into consciousness. This is where triggers come in. Triggers are like the potion Jekyll drinks. They summon Hyde. They poke the bear, mess around, and find out, motherfucker. In those Mr. Hyde monster moments, our rational, thoughtful Jekyll recedes, retires, relinquishes control to the cruel Mr. Hyde, who might lash out or shut down or act in ways that don't help us be who we want to be. What's worse, we push people away. People we want and need for our own mental and emotional health and hygiene.
You're the big cops. You said it. How do I know? You said I'm funny. How the f*** am I funny? What the f*** is so funny about me? Tell me. Tell me what's funny.
Not just...
Let me pause and ask, are you aware of your triggers? Yeah. Triggers are as varied as we are. Something someone says, a certain situation, even a smell or a sound can set off an intense emotional reaction. It's similar when you hear a song and you remember, like when you were a kid, and like, oh, and you have a feeling and a memory and maybe an image, a mental image of a place and time. That's accessing the unconscious. The important thing to know is that the reaction isn't about the here and now. It's about something unconscious in us. And we'll see those are some of the oldest and most intense feelings that we have. So what's going on? Well, behavioral scientists give us a word. It's called neuroticisms. Scientists define neuroticism as a tendency to react to situations based on past wounds rather than present reality. A tendency towards emotional instability, excessive worry, or heightened sensitivity to stress. Any of this sound familiar to anybody? It also involves persistent negative emotions like anxiety, irritability, and mood swings. Hyde's a real bitch. I ask, is it possible to stop being triggered altogether? Can we break the negative pattern? Get to know Hyde so you can outgrow him. In fact, dynamic therapies like psychoanalysis disarms, diffuses, dismantles the trigger. So yes, you can stop being triggered by things in your past. Here are 3 quick takeaways to get us going. Notice when you're triggered, when you feel an intense emotional reaction, pause and ask, what just happened that generated my reaction? Ask what triggered your trigger. It's like we have landmines or big red buttons. When people bump into them, they go off.
That was easy.
If you write it down and devote some brain cells to it, you might get some mileage out of it. This takes time, so please be patient with yourself. Over time, a pattern will emerge. Second, get curious about your Hyde moments. Ask, what might my unconscious be trying to tell me? What is the meaning of this reaction? That's a good question. We want to get to know this part of ourselves so we can outgrow it. Again, give yourself some grace. Our goal isn't to silence Hyde, but to observe him like an unwelcome house guest. Over time, we will respond instead of react. We'll have more control, more awareness of what's going on, and life gets much better as a result. We make more money, we have better relationships and health. It's all good. So here's what I want to give you in today's episode. Your Mr. Hyde isn't a villain. He's a messenger. And Dr. Jekyll, your conscious self, can learn to listen, guide, and integrate Hyde instead of trying to suppress him or deny him or just cope with him. That's today's deliverable. You can integrate and heal. You can outgrow the old. Spoiler alert, there's no monster under the bed. We need not fear. If this episode sparks some insights, or you're thinking, wow, Mr. Hyde showed up last Tuesday, drop us a comment or share with a friend. Appreciate it. I'm Steve Fabry. Stay curious, stay kind, and maybe take your inner Hyde out for a walk.
Dynamite. Dynamite! You just blew my mind right now.